Hello World! Mining Data Online is an initiative to build a simple-to-use platform intended for individuals without programming knowledge to build customizable web data warehouses designed to incentivize collection and sharing of structured data in exchange for micropayments. Let me explain. In order to understand what kind of problem I'm trying to solve, we must first understand the difference between structured and unstructured data. Let's start with unstructured data. Unstructured data are not organized in a predefined manner and cannot be displayed in rows, columns, and relational databases. That is why they are not easily searchable and they are not well suited for data analysis. It is estimated that 80% of available data is unstructured. Structured data, on the other hand, are organized in a predefined manner. They are easy to manage and are well suited for scientific search engines, data analysis, data visualization, and automation. That is why some enterprises and institutions invest a significant amount of their resources and in some cases even artificial intelligence to have data available in a structured form. Because most available data are unstructured, there is a certain unfulfilled demand for structured data. Let me give you an example. Let's say that you are a precious metal mining investor and you want to know how much gold a certain gold mine in Ghana, owned by Newmont Mining Corp, produced in the last 10 years. I'm sure that these data you're looking for are available in Newmont's website. And let's say that it will take you 5 minutes to find this 10 data in 10 different PDF files. What would you rather to do in this case? Would you rather pay 1 cent to have access to this 10 data by a mouse click? Or would you rather spend 5 minutes of your life digging to PDF files? And what if, for 1 more cent, you could view the historical chart of this 10 data? Don't forget that humans are lazy by nature. Being a precious metal mining enthusiastic myself, I am currently building a web data warehouse specialized on searching and analyzing data provided by the precious metal mining industry in exchange for micropayments. Unfortunately, there is something very important missing in my web data warehouse: data. How the hell I'm going to gather and sort significant amount of data without access to sophisticated artificial intelligence software and without a fortune to pay a company to do it for me? Precious metal mining doesn't provide big data, but is definitely too much for a single person to collect. Here is my solution: create a mechanism that incentivizes individuals to participate in the collection of data. How? Let's say that a person named Ricardo provided my web data warehouse with a certain data. For example, the number of total ounces of gold produced in 2018 in the Ahafo gold mine. The web data warehouse will not only store the data, but it would also store the Ethereum wallet address of Ricardo. Every time a person or a machine makes a micropayment to access the data that was provided by Ricardo, a portion of the micropayment is automatically transferred to Ricardo's wallet, and the other portion will be transferred to the administrator wallet as a reward for building and maintaining the web data warehouse. Since Ricardo would earn only when the data is accessed by someone or a machine, Ricardo would be interested in providing data that have higher probability of being demanded. Ricardo would be co-owner of the data he stored in this web data warehouse, and he would be rewarded as long as there is a demand for the data he provided. Now there is a problem. What if the data provided by Ricardo is wrong? In order to minimize the risk, the same data should be provided by at least two different individuals. The second person that provides this data should not be able to view the data provided by the first person until he, the second person, provides the data. This would avoid the risk of the second person just copy-pasting the data provided by the first person. The data would only be accessible by guests in case both the data provided by those two individuals are equal. In case both data are different, it would be up to the Web Data Warehouse's administrator to choose the right one or to reject both. Those that provided wrong data would be penalized. In case both data provided are equal, the Web Data Warehouse would consider the data to be correct, and future micropayments to access this data would be divided in three pieces. That means both individuals that provide the data and the Web Data Warehouse's administrator will get each a portion of the micropayment. The level of data integrity could be increased by requiring more individuals to provide the same data, but this would result in higher costs for guests to access this data. This would only be interesting for data that requires high level of integrity. While programming my Web Data Warehouse, I noticed that it is quite tricky, especially for people with limited or with no programming knowledge. In order to increase the number of individuals participating in the process of data collection, it is essential not only to incentivize individuals to provide data, but to also reduce the technical burden associated with developing such a web data warehouse. My main objective is to build an open source web data warehouse platform that facilitates the development of personalized web data warehouses, with the functionality to charge for accessing structured data and reward for providing data, using micropayments on the Raiden network payment system. This web data warehouse will be based on the LAMP bundle, and in addition it would use JavaScript to interact with the Raiden payment network. Web data warehouses built on top of the Mining Data Online platform would be privately owned, and using the example above, Ricardo would have to trust the Web Data Warehouse administrator promise to keep the Web Data Warehouse up and running and to pay him a portion of the micropayment every time the data that he provided is accessed by someone or a machine in the future. However, those centralized web data warehouses would give a very joy the possibility to create value by providing structured data. This web data warehouse platform will be an attempt to enable individuals to profit from the demand for structured data. Let me give you an example. Let's say that Alex heard about mining data online and decides to use the platform to create a web data warehouse that provides data found in the Nigerian constitution using an easy-to-use search engine for quick data access in exchange for a micropayment. In this case, the data will be the number of all chapters and every article of each chapter. Since Alex has experience in developing text reading software, Alex decided to collect the data himself. In this case, Alex would own 100% share in the data stored in his own web data warehouse, because he would not have to rely on Ricardo to insert the data. Let's say that many lawyers like his search engine and ask him to do the same with all articles of all laws and regulations so that they can save time every time they want to find a certain article by making a micropayment every time they access a certain article. Several months has passed, and Alex has collected all Nigerian laws and regulations using his self-made text reading software. Let's say that in average 1,000 lawyers accesses 20 articles per lawyer per day, and they pay 0.1 cent worth of written tokens per article. This would cost every lawyer an average of 2 cents per day, and Alex would receive in total a passive income of $20 per day for the rest of his life, as long as the demand stays unchanged. Let me give you another example. Let's say that Conrad lives in a city that has no weather station, somewhere in the Wild West, and he built a weather station using an Arduino that measures and inserts the temperature and the time of each measurement in his web data warehouse that he built using the Mining Data online platform. A girl named Janice that lives 50 miles away built exactly the same thing because in her village there is also no weather station. For some reason or another, Alex needs to compare the temperature of those two cities in a certain period of time. Both data are in two different web data warehouses. So Alex came with a great idea. Alex created a scientific search engine designed to search structured data found in web data warehouses built on top of Mining Data online platform. Most specifically, Alex built a search engine that is specialized in searching weather data, temperature, humidity, pressure, the time of each measurement, the coordinates of the sensor, from 1,000 web data warehouse based on the Mining Data online platform. Since developing search engines for structured data would be a quite simple task, because all web data warehouse built on top of Mining Data online platform would use the same standard, now thousands other people have decided to build search engines, but every search engine would be specialized on searching data of a certain category. Now people have the option to pay an extra fee to use search engines owned by individuals across the world to search structured data in multiple web data warehouses. The search engines would be a kind of marketplaces for buying and selling structured data. Thanks for your attention.